The Speaker's allegations of bullying, text messages, guns, and physical threats are alarming, and we know that one person in the Premier's inner circle, if not Mo himself, has lied about them. It's as if after 17 years, the Sask Party has become entitled and think that the rules don't apply to them. Mo and his ministers can't be trusted to hold themselves accountable, and that's why we are in need of an investigation, which of course we've been calling for from the beginning. But today I wrote to Speaker Randy Weekes calling on him to convene the House Services Committee to investigate these serious allegations as soon as possible. The House Services Committee has the authority to appoint an independent investigator, set the rules and parameters of any investigation, and give the investigator subpoena powers, meaning that just like in a court of law, witnesses could be compelled to testify under oath and give evidence at official hearings. The need for this was only reinforced when we received responses to 2 of the 3 letters that I sent out last week, which did not result in any answers to our questions. Premier Mo said yesterday that he would not himself initiate an investigation, that wasn't the proper route, but that Weekes and other members of the Legislative Assembly can request an investigation into claims of harassment. We sincerely hope that Premier Mo instructs his caucus members who are on the House Committee to cooperate, to vote in favor of an investigation, and to shine a light on the facts of this as soon as possible. There is an alleged culture of bullying and harassment at the core of Scott Moe's Sask Party caucus. Minister Harrison remains one of Moe's senior ministers and essentially the face of Saskatchewan to international investors and trade partners, despite the fact that he is now an established liar and has displayed conduct that falls well below what we would expect from any minister of the Crown. After 17 years, enough is enough. This government is dysfunctional, and we need to get it working again for the people of Saskatchewan. With that, I'll take any questions you might have.
What were the responses that you got to
Yeah, so we have copies of those on hand for anyone that wants them. We've received now a response from the Office of the Chief Firearms Officer. Essentially, it was penned by counsel at that office and indicates that they can't confirm or deny whether any of these records exist or not on the basis of personal information. In the case of the second letter, we received a response from Danny Herman, the director of the LDSU. It's a very short letter. The reply is not responsive to our questions. It's a bit odd, but we're disappointed by that. But we just think it reinforces the need to go this route.
What did the Herman letter say?
I have a copy here, Wayne, if you'd like it, but it just basically says that any allegations of an offense would need to be reported and investigated by the police service of jurisdiction, which in this instance would be the Regina Police Service. Trust this alleviates any concerns you may have. So,
what do you think of that suggestion?
So I think that the allegations involved here may not go far as any criminal offense. So it's a very bizarre response in my view. I have the original letter that I penned to her and a copy of her response, Wayne, if you'd like it. But I also acknowledge she's in a very awkward position given that she answers to the Minister of Corrections on this.
I don't think it would go far as a criminal investigation for what he was in. As a lawyer, I guess. I'm just like.
I don't know the answer to that. I think that there are certainly concerns around workplace harassment, bullying, and then the inappropriateness of the conduct. Again, in the case of, there's an allegation around a long gun, and then a request, according to Randy Weekes, a request was made to carry a handgun. So I don't think that would be a criminal offense. It does raise alarm bells around, whether an authorization to carry a handgun was ever made to Mr. Harrison, whether he did make this request, why. I don't think this rises to the level of criminal offense, and that's why I find Ms. Herman's response a bit bizarre. I mean, I think that could be part of her response, but that is the entirety of her response, given that the questions that we posed had nothing to do necessarily with a criminal offense did not appear to be responsive to my questions.
What kind of communications have you had with Randy Weekes so far?
Me personally, I've had no communication with him, except he's reposted a few of my tweets, I noticed.
Has House Leader or Opposition Leader Nicole Sarr had any communication with him just about conduct about this investigation, or was this letter delivered today?
I don't think that, I have no reason to believe that Randy Weekes would have known this letter was coming. I can't speak to whether Nicole has spoken to him. I'm not to my knowledge, but I also don't want to deny that if they had for any reason. But I do not believe that the Speaker had any idea that this was coming. And certainly we didn't seek his agreement or anything like that.
Why do you think Randy Weekes hasn't asked for an investigation already? Why hasn't he?
Well, there is a question about whether the Speaker can unilaterally call an investigation, and I just don't know the answer to that. I think that would be a better question for Council of the Legislative Assembly. Certainly, the House Services Committee can convene and request one in an all-party sense. I think that's the cleanest route. I think it would also be an opportunity for the Premier to send the message that he's now taking this seriously. So again, I think this is a very clear route. It's a clean route. And that's why we've suggested that this is the route to go.
Do you think the Premier should be doing more to advocate for an investigation?
Absolutely, he should be doing more, and we hope that he takes this as an opportunity to show some leadership finally on this issue, particularly given the about-face that we've seen in the last few days.
Forgive my, I guess, ignorance of the makeup of the committee, but if it were convened, would there be a possibility that government could vote down?
Absolutely, yeah. So they have a majority on that committee. We have only 2 members. So there's 2 things that could happen. One is they could just, vote this down as a non-starter. We hope that doesn't happen. And then the other thing is, the committee would establish the parameters and the rules for the investigation, so they could, unreasonably narrow the scope of an investigation. So our call is both to have the investigation and then, have the scope, include all of these allegations that have been made, because we think that they're all serious and that they should be looked into.
Randy Weekes hasn't gone the route of an official complaint, anything like that thus far. He just did the kind of speaking out. Why do you think that he would do this now?
Well, I don't think that Randy, why do I think that he would convene
That he would consent to doing this?
I think that, Randy's comments in the House certainly indicated that he has a respect for democratic institutions. As I said, this would be a very transparent and clean route to having an investigation. It would require an all-party approach. So I think it would be, I hope that it will be a route that is attractive to the Speaker as well as the Premier.
What message do you think it sends if workplace allegations of bullying, harassment aren't scrutinized further?
I think that no one, I think that people don't have a lot of patience for hypocrites. And, this is a government that says that they take workplace harassment seriously. I believe they've just passed new policies and legislation just recently around this. I think it would send a very dangerous message around, these issues. It would indicate that they think that the rules don't apply to them, that these are rules that apply to others, but not then. And I think it would only contribute to this sense that this is an entitled government that doesn't think the rules apply to them. I think that any government that takes, the rule of law, good governance, transparency, accountability seriously would jump at the chance to do something like this. An all-party approach, a very clean approach. I think this is what needs to be. This needs to happen. In addition to that, how much oxygen has been spent on this issue already, going back and forth, the about face. Meanwhile, people feel like our hospitals are in crisis, our education system is broken, we see a state of emergency declared up north, we see the cost of living out of control. People want the focus to be on the things that are challenges to them in their everyday. This would be an opportunity, to address this head on and then focus on the things that matter.
What do you think would happen if you were the person that was being alleged to be the harasser in this situation? What would the government be doing, do you think?
I think Jeremy Harrison would be leading the charge, as he has in the past. Jeremy Harrison has always been holier than the Pope, when it comes to stuff like this. I think that, for things that are not nearly, of grave and serious nature of this kind of thing. I think it displays, again, a double standard. One set of rules, one standard for others, and then one set of rules for our inner circle, the Sask Party caucus.
Has Randy Weekes received this letter yet?
Yes,
Okay.
it was delivered, I believe, a little over an hour ago.
Okay. Have you heard anything from him since?
No,
Okay.
I suspect it's too soon.
With regards to the allegation of the firearm in the leg, which I guess is more than an allegation because Mr. Harrison has said he did bring a firearm into the building. Hunting is somewhat common in certain parts of the province. How would you suggest that an MLA, Mr. Harrison, any MLA going on a hunting trip might handle things differently than bringing a firearm into the ledge building?
Yeah, I think that we have plenty of responsible gun owners in Saskatchewan, plenty of hunters, and as most of them would never dream of bringing their gun into work, let alone if their place of work was the Legislative Assembly of Saskatchewan. Jeremy Harrison has a residence here. There's no excuse for this. He himself has acknowledged this was a terrible lapse in judgment. So, I think most people look at this, whether or not they're a gun owner, and think and are in utter disbelief that this happened.
Okay, thank you, Meara. Thank you, folks.
Thank you.